Okay, so this 5-minute video is about the importance of warming up versus cooling down. So the main difference is during a warm-up, you want to be doing dynamic movements, dynamic stretches. More so when you're cooling down, you're able to do more static stretches, lengthen the muscles because then you're resting. So dynamic stretching is really good for getting the blood to the muscles, getting you prepared for that activity prior to your activation, prior to your sport, okay? So it's really important before you start dynamic stretching that you jog. So you can even dynamic stretch in a small space like this. Very simply, you can jog on the spot, get yourself going maybe for a minute, 45 seconds, 90 seconds, just to get the heart rate going, get the blood pumping, and then you go into your dynamic stretches. So what I mean by dynamic stretches is, rather than say, for example, if you're stretching your quad to stand and hold, this would be considered a static stretch. So the way that you can make that dynamic is you can do your heel flick. So trying to kick your glutes and you just bring your knees up, bring your feet up, sorry, at the back like this. That is a dynamic stretch for the quads, okay? Similarly, rather than a static stretch for the hamstring, which is bending over like this, touching your toes, what you can do is you can do some kick throughs, just like I'm doing here, okay? So the idea is to try and keep the leg quite straight and kick forward like this, okay? That is gonna activate these hamstrings here and get the blood pumping, okay? Also, we need to warm up the groins and the glutes. These are really important for football because the groins are the muscles that work when you're passing a football, when you're shooting, all these kind of bits and bobs. And similarly, the glute is there for the stabilization. So as you're striking, the groin is working the pass, the glute is working the stabilization, okay? So what we need to do for this is, there's two ways that we can do dynamic stretches for the groins. We can go what we call over the gate, like this, both ways, inside and out. Or we can stand and we can swing the leg like this across the body, okay? And this is going to be like passing a football, so this is really warming up the inside of the groin. The glutes, the way that we want to warm these up is you want to kick across the body, okay? This time with a bent knee, unlike the groin where it's a straight leg, here we want to go with a bent knee across the body, okay? You can take little steps and little kicks, and this is going to stretch and warm up these glutes. Lastly, you want to get the upper body warm, because obviously when you're running, you're using your arms, you're using your shoulder, your back, your upper body, okay? So quite simply, dynamic stretches for this, just rolling the arms over, both forwards, backwards. If you want to work your coordination, try and go the other way. That's wrong, yeah, the other way, like this. And that's really going to warm up the upper body, okay? Now, once you've done your dynamic stretches and you're warm and you're jogging on the spot, you can get your knees up, get yourself nice and warm, then you go into your activity. When you finish your activity and you're cooling down, that's when you're able to do more static stretches, okay? So static stretches for the calves, it's quite simply find yourself a wall, push against the wall, one foot bent, the other foot at the back straight, you're going to stretch your calves. Your hamstrings, similar to what we did earlier, you can pull your toe up to make the stretch a little bit harder, straighten this leg, bend down, and you're going to feel that at the back of the leg here. That's the hamstring, okay? Then the quads, knees together, grab your foot behind and pull, and you will feel this stretch down the front of the leg here, okay? That's the quad. And then the glutes, if you pull up on your foot and push down on your knee, you'll really feel this stretch in the bum cheeks here. That's really stretching out those glutes at the end of your exercise. It's really important that when we're doing sport, we warm up and we cool down. The warm up is to prevent injury, and the cool down is to help us recover and prepare for the next time we're doing sport. So if we're going to play sport the next day, rather than feeling stiff and sore and therefore having injuries, we're going to be more flexible,